Hello and good morning, everybody. I missed yesterday. Started the week kind of crazy, and so here I am on Tuesday, and we're getting rolling. I don't think that I can maintain a everyday pace, but that is still what I aspire to, and we'll kind of see where we go from there. So we are working on an Alexa skill. Good morning, Kevin Evans. We're working on an Alexa skill for Alexa skill developers. It provides a bunch of resources and information and video and news and all sorts of things like that. And one of the things that we've been working on last week, hello, France, how are you? One of the things we've been working on is a Q&A module. And in this Q&A module, you can ask it things like, how do I make money? Or how do I use Java? Or what is in-skill purchasing? Or all sorts of stuff, right? I have all these topics that I could potentially answer questions about. And so one of the things that I thought I would do today is a little less code heavy and a little more data heavy. And so what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to plop down in this chair, and we're going to tweak up our sample utterances for our intents, and then we're going to spend some time thinking about the topics that people might ask. And I would love for this to be an interactive session. So if you have ideas or thoughts on things you have questions about, or hey, how would I do this, or how would I solve this problem, or tell me about this topic, I'd love to know what those topics are so that we can include those in all of our data. So let's get over to this view. There I am down there in the corner, and what we're going to work on first is over here on the right hand side. So I have my answer intent, and this is the JSON that I use to define my interaction model for when someone gives an answer. And so my database of answers is here. You can see that I have this long list of topics. And what I want to do is create situations in which you can ask about these things. So what I'm going to do is I want to add a couple new sample utterances to this. One is going to be how can I answer? I think that's a good one. I'm also going to do a how do I and an answer. Because the other ones are kind of like, regarding skill purchasing, how is the correct way to implement it? For example, enable some more feature buying extensions, enabling more intense after in-skill purchasing. Oh, great question, France. So when you do skill purchasing, so you're talking about a paid skill. I don't know if I have paid skills in this list. Pay. Nope. Let's add that. Thank you for the idea there. Are you kidding me? You've locked me down? All right, I'm going to have to start paying for Airtable. Awful. They are an amazing service, and I would absolutely pay for it. I just haven't needed to. So that's a good warning. And I can see I have 22 days left. That's a good thing to look at, because I have a bunch of these. It just means I can't add more data, which is generally okay, but I have one specifically. Starting February 26, you won't be able to add records to bases that have gone over the record limit. Do they show me where I am? Yeah, this is going to be a real problem for me. So if I look at this, well, we can fix that later. If we look at this one, yeah, see, I'm way over on attachments, I'm way over on records. Man, that's gonna stink. Yeah, I mean, at least they give me a warning, right? And I don't have any applications hooked up to my baseball card collection, but if you guys haven't seen this, it's kind of ridiculous. So come back to the top here. this, if I go to gallery, and we can go full screen just for a second. We're just doing a little show off time. This is what I'm using Airtable for. This is my baseball card collection. This is the gallery view. There's a spreadsheet view as well, but you can see I have a photo of every single card in my collection, and this goes on for thousands. Thousands and thousands of cards. And they're sorted by most modern. So if I take this all the way to the bottom, most modern by set. So I'm not doing anything alphabetically by player name. But I can also, if I come back into view, I can filter things down, right? So like this is a gallery of only cards that have autographs on them. And so this is alphabetical by player's first name. I haven't broken it down by first and last. But you can see that this is a really powerful tool for keeping track of this stuff and being able to share this data on the web. Here, in fact, I'll take this. And I can drop this in the chat if you guys want to check this out. But I really like Airtable for a number of reasons, but this is just gorgeous, and it makes it easy to share data and let you guys see part of my collection, or if I'm trading with somebody, they can dig in and see what I've got without having to make spreadsheets and lists and all sorts of other stuff. But this list just goes on and on and on. And there's a lot of Shane Bieber in there. He's a guy I collect a lot. So anyway, that is that. That's not what we're here for today. So the question was, how do paid skills work? So a paid skill is basically behind a paywall. So there isn't any content that the user gets as a result of a paid skill. So if, let's say you want to charge $2.99 for a user to have access to your skill at all, you can do that, but when you set that up, it will just let the user know, like, hey, here's what the skill will do. And I think it probably takes that from the short description. I'd have to look into that specifically. But it just lets the user know that, hey, by the way, this is something that you're going to have to pay for to get access to. And it asks them right then, hey, this is a skill that does X, Y, and Z. Do you want to buy it? If they say yes, then boom, they pay for it. Then they have access to the skill and they're let in. But if they don't pay for it, I don't believe that your interaction model, your skill, your code, anything ever gets hit. And so, I mean, skill freemium and then add a feature by buying the extension like in-app purchasing. Oh, yeah. So that's this other concept, called in-skill purchasing. And there are 3 ways to do that. You can do subscriptions. I think everybody knows what a subscription is. And you can set your subscription for monthly or yearly. And you can set the price on that. I think the limit is $99 a month. I think that's the most. Like $99.99 I think is the most. It's all in the docs. That is the subscription model. You can also have, and you can combine these things too. You can also have what I call a one-time purchase. The example I always like to use for one-time purchasing is, let's say you've built a game and a player is having trouble getting past a boss or something. Well, you could have, as they're walking through the forest again to go find this ogre or this giant that like pops up and he's like, hey, I actually have an axe that will help you defeat that ogre. Would you be interested in buying it? It's $1 or $2 or whatever. And the user's like, yeah, I could pay $1 to get past this ogre. That'd be awesome. I've already lost to him 12 times. So they buy the axe from the guy. It's a one-time purchase that they now own forever. It doesn't wear out. It doesn't go away. It doesn't get destroyed. It's something that they should be able to use forever and ever inside the game. Now, it may not always be as powerful as they want it to be. Maybe it's special just for that one ogre, but it should never disappear. That's a one-time purchase. And you can imagine that's true for a number of things. If I had a trivia game and I have 30 different categories of trivia questions and someone buys the sports category, well, they should expect that they always own that sports category, right? And it doesn't go away. Same kind of idea with a one-time purchase. And then finally is what we call consumables. And consumables are things that you do use and burn up. And so the catch with these is that you, the developer, are responsible for managing inventory. Amazon does not, today anyway, give you any mechanism to be able to track and manage the inventory. So if you offer a product that is 10 coins, the user's going to get 10 coins, you let them know they have 10 coins, but you, the developer, are responsible for managing and maintaining that. The user should always be able to ask, how many coins do I have left? And if they use one, you should let them know, hey, you have 9, you have 7, you have whatever. When they get down to 0, sell them more. Sell them 1, sell them 5, sell them 10. You can have different packs of coins or whatever, right? So those are the 3. The way the process works for the user is that you have to remember they're on an Alexa device. That means they already have their Amazon account set up. They have paired that Amazon account with their Alexa account, and so they behind the scenes they already have billing address, credit card, all that stuff. So you just say, hey, I have a product you might be interested in. Do you want to buy it, or would you like to hear more about it? The user can say yes. Alexa, not your skill, but Alexa will then say, oh, the product you're looking at is the Ogre Killing Axe. It's $1.99. With tax, that'll be $2.13. Would you like to buy it? And if the user says yes, the transaction goes through. You get a response in your code that says, hey, they purchased this thing. From then on, every time you can call an API to see if that user has purchased that product. So you don't have to persist that. You can always check and say, do they own this? Then they have the axe for the rest of the game. So it's all a voice-enabled purchase process. You don't have to worry about collecting credit card information or zip codes or phone numbers or any of the other stuff. You just ask them yes or no, and if they say yes, then you sell it to them. If they say no, you don't sell it to them. And there are different events that are fired that allow you to know whether or not they said yes or no. So you might want to offer them products, and they might say no thanks, or not right now, or whatever. And you'll know that they said no, and then you can be like, okay, cool. And you can remember that for later, that like they haven't purchased this thing. I just asked them on February 7th, so on February 21st, I'm going to ask them again. Because I want to give them a little time to think about it, and maybe I'll come back, and maybe next time they'll be in a mood to buy. So that is... those are the 3 structures for in-skill purchasing, and that's a good tip. So we're gonna add some other synonyms to this. In app purchasing, because as you did, you just called it in-app purchasing. This is all very helpful. In-skill purchasing. How is the correct way to implement it? There's a very good bit of tech docs on implementing this, because there are a lot of things to do. You have to, do I have in here, monitor, build, do I have it in here, reminders, timers, rich media. Oh, hey, thank you, Tokyo Rock, appreciate it. Always appreciate a follow. I'm here most mornings. I think without a doubt I'll be here every Tuesday, Thursday. But my goal is to try to be here every morning and just get a little work done. Earn money with a skill. Here we go. Selling premium content within skill purchasing, and I believe in here, as we get into this, product somewhere in here there is a really good example that walks you through like the different events and things you need to handle. Those are the API calls. That's not really what I need yet. Well, it's in here. So I'll send you to earn money with a skill. Is that where we are? No. Earn money with a skill. Sell premium content within skill purchasing. I'll give you this URL as well. Okay, so France 193, hopefully that helps you. And I'm going to get back to what I was doing. So let's bring this back. And bring this back. And is that going to be halves too? Cool. And we were thinking about data that we wanted to add this. So we had how do I do, and we should probably have a how do I do also. How do I do answer? Okay, we're gonna save that. We're gonna deploy that just so that we can make sure some of that stuff works. So ask deploy. That's gonna go ahead and run, and so now we can think about things that we want to talk about. And that's actually why I have the tech docs here. because I feel like there's a lot of like Web API for games. Is that even in my list? It's not. Web API for games. So we'll just drop that in there, and then we can drag this down. One of the other things that I should really check as I continue to grow this out is we have like smart home, smart camera control, smart home skill API. These are all things that we'll want to have in here, but they all have the word smart. So when this is done deploying, I'm going to go test this too. So let's go to developer console, that one, and we'll get our testing ready to go after this is done deploying. Ooh, I have an utterance conflict. How did I do that? What is my utterance conflict? Boy, what did I do there? The break intent, where is that? Break. It's short, as I recall. Break intent. Why would those match? I don't believe you. Alexa will attempt to disambiguate utterances between custom intents, break intent, and office hours intent, but they aren't that similar. Oh, and so we're saying okay, well maybe we can just fix that. So if we go look at our break slot, we have weak, and I put in here, I don't even need that synonym. We'll just do that. Okay, so I think that solves my problem there. Let's go to testing. Let's get our local debugging running. Here I said I wasn't going to write any code today, and here we are writing some code. It is running. I can see the debug console. Excellent. Okay, so I should be able to say open voice developer.
Hello, and welcome to Voice Developer. This skill can give you information and answers about Alexa skill development. Did you know I can repeat what I just said? Just say, repeat that, to hear anything I say a second time. What can I help you do next?
Okay, we wanted to see, well, let's try this. How do I do in-app purchasing? Should say, oh, here's in-skill purchasing.
Here's what I know about in-skill purchasing. Undefined, what would you like to do next?
Fine. So if we look at in-skill purchasing, which is the one we had, we don't have any data for it. I can write that. But if they say, how do I do in-app purchasing? Now it knows, like, oh, you mean in-skill purchasing. And then what would normally happen if I'd filled this all out is that I would have all of these columns filled in, and it would give you the response. Cool. So that worked. What I wanted to see is, I can't remember if I built this or not. Tell me about Smart. Smart is in a few different things.
I heard you say smart, and I found two options for you. Did you want Smart Home or Smart Home Skill API?
Nice. So what it's doing, and this is code that I've written earlier. Good morning, W. Giorgio. Good to see you. Just had a commercial for Taco Bell on my Twitch stream, and now you kind of want it. I would love some Taco Bell. I don't know if you guys recall, the last time I was doing a lot of streaming, I was on a weird diet, and I've been back on that diet now for 10 days. It's working. It's fantastic. But it's no sugar, no flour. That's the base of it. I mean, there's some variation to it a little, but that's the base of it. And the weight just falls off, which is amazing. But it finds me eating like taco meat just as a thing, or I'll just make a bowl of taco meat with some cheese on it, and things like that. And so I have gone, and the way that they will do that for you is that Taco Bell does have bowls for something that they have a plastic bowl, And I said, hey, can I just get a bowl of like your taco meat and some cheese mixed together? And they said, yeah, we can totally do that. And so what they did is they charged me like 10 sides of ground beef, which is, it ended up being like $1.30 or something silly. And so for like $1.30, I got this heaping bowl of taco meat and cheese, and now you're making me want to go get that. That sounds pretty good. Anyway, yeah, I lost, the last time I did this, I lost 40 pounds, and it really worked well, and I felt like I was eating really well. It was lots of vegetables and meats and cheese and nuts and stuff like that, salads. And then all the restaurants started opening again, and I started going to those restaurants and eating the things that I loved, and put some of that weight, most of that weight back on. And so it's time to get back serious about this. I got to get into my bikini body for this summer. So we're getting after it. Anyway, this is. I wonder if I want to like. I feel like I could cut down. So like, agencies and tools. I have a page here. I'm sure if I say Alexa agencies and tools, find experience skill builders and tools, skill building agencies. So I'm going to take this sentence. Did I do that before? Maybe I did that before. If I look at my data, agencies and tools, I'm going to get rid of the tools part. Agencies with expertise building Alexa skills can help you create engaging voice experiences for your brand. I believe that's the sentence I just saw. Yeah. So I need to add some more content to that. And this is where I want to get very specific about how I think about this content, because I want to write 10% of these, and then I want my marketing team to go through and understand like, oh, this is what I need to say, and then write the rest of them, because not all of these will have a dedicated page that already has content written. So we're going to call this we're just going to call this agencies. Tools is something different, and we're going to call this marketing. Ad agency, digital agency. Okay. Pronunciation. Well, what do we say now? If I say, tell me about agencies, what do we get?
Here's what I know about agencies. Agencies with expertise building Alexa skills can help you create engaging voice experiences for your brand. What can I help you do next?
Okay, so that's not really enough. So I think in my voice response I need to broaden this a little bit. Agencies with expertise building Alexa skills can help you create engaging voice experiences for your brand. I've shared a link with you to find qualified agencies near you. So I've shared a link with you to find, I don't know if I love that phrasing, but what I'm really doing is saying, like if I say United States and go, these are all agencies in the United States that can build skills for you. It would be kind of, oh man, it would be kind of cool if I made this the link you went to rather than the last page where you had to then choose a country and go. But then I would have to make sure, if I could, let's go back and look at that list. What does the list look like? Man, I think I could probably do that. I'd have to create custom links for each country. But then this is the beauty of my speech model, is that I could see how I have ENUS, ENAU, ENCA, ENGB, ENIN. I'm saying that we can use this entry for every language. But we could make that not true. We could have a different one for each language. Let's do that. I think this is a good example to have in my data anyway, and then we can verify that it's going to work the way we want to. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to delete all but the ENUS. That's going to be our starter. So So this is now an ENUS only answer. And the agency list, I'm sure if I go to this link, it's just this lookup page. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just change those URLs a little bit to be agencies US, something like that. Now, I'll obviously have to make these links. They don't exist today. But I know that that's going to be the one for agencies in the United States. So now I can duplicate this record, and I can get rid of this, and I can add another. We should find all the US ones. ENUS, ESUS. Although that's not really going to work either because that would need to be in Spanish. So we're going to just focus on the English language ones for now because that's all I have this skill written for. So EN Australia. Do we have Australia in the list? Yeah, okay. So here, ENAU, all the same language, right? But out here, we'll make it AUNZ. And so I'll show you how this is going to work in just a second. Let's duplicate this again. Get rid of this locale. What's another EN? ENCA. Is Canada in the list? It is. So we could do a Canada version of this. And then, again, we'll want to go through all of these and make sure that they're clean, but we can get rid of Canada on that one. And we have ENGB. Great. Now, what do we call it here? Do we call it UK? UK. So I'm gonna call the link UK, even though the locale is GB. And the reason for this is because the user will see the URL, and I want it to look friendly and familiar. That's the same reason I did the AUNZ. I don't want the New Zealand folks to feel like they're missing out, even though I bet most of the agencies are in Australia. It looks like we are considering them also. And then ENGB, there's ENIN, and that's pretty much it. Okay, ENIN. All right, and then we'll take this out here, and this will be IN. And so I can have each of these point to the appropriate link, which it doesn't now. So this should still allow my skill to work without any other changes, just changing my data. So if I say, tell me, where can I find an agency? I don't think this is going to work, but we'll try.
I don't have a record for find an agency. My apologies. I'll do some research.
That's a good one.
What can I help you do next?
Find an agency. That's not going to fix anything here. We'd have to actually go into this, change this to agencies and tools. Actually, we can just do this. I already have it out here. Take this whole row, copy it, take the agencies line and just remove it, and boom. Okay, now I have it there. We have to deploy it again. Deploy. But in the meantime, we have 5 different versions of agencies. This is actually a really good example to have in my code anyway as we grow this thing. So I have my 5 different things. I have 5 different URLs. It takes you. So how can I find an agency? Where can I find an agency? And it did take that, right? So as I look at my intent, it's in here somewhere. As I look at my answer intent, where can I? That's another good one. Okay. Okay, we're making some good progress as we think about answers specifically. This is what I wanted to spend this session doing, so it's good. What if I say, when is Alexa live? That is not here. But I wonder if I mean, I could add that. When is that's not going to be deployed to my code, but I wonder if it works. If I say, when is Alexa live? Does it know?
You asked me about Alexa Live. Alexa Live is a free educational event for skill builders, device makers, and business leaders on July 22, 2020. What can I help you do next?
Now, I don't have the dates for this year, so I haven't put those in there yet, but that is working. So even though when is, and this is a good example for people to see, is that even though when is, I mean, I know I just added it, but it's not actually in the model that it's running against, it was still able to recognize that, like, hey, that's kind of in the vein of what people might ask here. You can see I have how and where and when and what questions. I probably should also have a who, just to cover all of our bases. Who is answer? Well, this, you know what? This might be a fun way to also help sell this to my executive team. Maybe we do a little brown nosing. So I have a person on my team. His name's Aaron Rubinson, and we'll give this all the English locales. Rubinson. I don't know how it pronounces that. We'll wait and see. Let's see if we can find a good bio on Aaron Rubinson. Brendonius, we need to get more support for what I'm doing. Let's do it. Let's find some more support. What I really need to do is tweak up this station, this channel. I need to do more with, like, having. He doesn't even have like a bio about me. No, okay. So he probably doesn't have his own website. What does the Washington Times think about him? No, that's old. Aaron Rubinson bio. He's got to have a bio somewhere, right? He's trickier to find than I thought. Okay, I'll make it simple. Quell, I haven't played with the Discord API actually. The Discord and the Twitch APIs both seem to change a lot frequently. Like I mentioned this on an earlier stream, but I have a chatbot that I built, and you may recall this, that is a whole casino, right? You get a coin every time you talk in chat, and then you can gamble those coins in games like blackjack and roulette and video poker and a few others. But Twitch just changed out their whole API, and I can't even use the stuff that I had anymore because they don't allow any of those API calls. They've shut it down. So what I need to do, honestly, what I need is like to take a month off and build a whole bunch of software that I really just want to build for my own purposes. I just haven't gotten around to that. So let's go. Aaron Rubinson is the vice president of, what did that say in the search here? Vice president. Oh, Aaron. Does he have an official website? Shut up. He owns it, but he redirects it to his LinkedIn. Man, that would have been cool. I'll bet there's a historical. Here, we're gonna do that. Wayback Machine. We're gonna go do some hunting. I wonder how many people on the web really know this. W. Georgia wants to know if I'm a 20 series NVIDIA GPU or later. Yes. W. Georgia, I am streaming. The card I have in here is a 3070. I think I have a 3070. Why do you ask? Look at this gold mine. What do we got? We got an update here. Let's take a look. What do you got for me, Internet Archive? Has not archived that URL. Great. Oh, that was already redirecting. Let's go back, like, back in the day. This guy was an opera singer. He's a very talented person. Yeah, so he was a vocalist, right? We're not gonna get more out of this though. That's okay. So, what was the search result I saw? I have not tried NVIDIA Broadcast W, Georgia. Should I? Would it? I mean, one of the things that I'm using to do all of my streaming, I'm using Streamlabs OBS, and I really like the tool. It's very convenient for laying out stuff and getting things in place. And they offer not OBS. I have OBS Studio also, but I'm using Streamlabs OBS, which is a fork of that, basically. That if nothing else, it gives me the ability to do Control-Z. And they also have a subscription package that gives you access to all sorts of other bots and tools and toys and things that you can include in your VP of Alexa Voice Services. We're going to call him that. VP, Vice President of Alexa Voice Services at Amazon. He's been here a long time, but I don't think I want to put that in there. So we'll just take this, copy. Link prefix. Where would I even send them? LinkedIn, like that, and then I could send him to his LinkedIn, I guess. Something like link. And then if I wanted to, again, we would put headshots and stuff like that. I would probably make this another alexa.design link. I could do that. Okay, so Aaron's in there. One of the other things that I really need to hook up is the dynamic entities, because dynamic entities would allow me to add all of these values dynamically without having to update my code. But I think, let me just add that to my list of stuff. So answer intent, do I have dynamic entities in here as a to-do? I don't think I have it. No, so let's do that too. We'll just slap a to-do in here. Hook setup dynamic entities so that database entries can automatically be added from Airtable. I don't know how I'm going to do that either. W. Georgia, do you know this? Maybe somebody knows. In my code, I have done an ask deploy. I have a model, and I have my code. Is there a way for me to know how recently I've updated my model? What version my model is? Is that a thing? If I go look at my model, I go to the very top, all I get is that. Down here at the bottom, I get nothing useful. If I could just get a deployment date, or like a last deployed or most recently updated date, I don't think you get that. I don't think I would know that. But I feel like if I knew that, then I could look at this table and only pull the ones that have been updated or added since, and use those as my dynamic entities. Anyway, we're not doing dynamic entities today. We will do that. That is coming. It's in my to-do list now. But for now, what I wanted to do is make sure that my samples were working. I have my answer intent. This looks a lot better now. I've done some tweaking with agencies specifically, but let's go through and see if there's anything else we can just get rid of. This one can go away. Amazon Pay, announcements. What is an ARN? I think that's a useful thing to know. Ask CLI. I should also have just c.l.i in there. Audio directives, audio formats, AWS credits. Probably should lose this one, I think. I don't know. I'd have to look into that. Beta testing, blog. Where's the blog? We have nothing about the blog. Alexa blog. Okay, so this is the blog. There's nothing that says like what the blog is or why you should be here or why it's important, but by the way, did you guys have a chance to watch this? We're not going to watch it here, but this Alexa Innovators I did with the Ascot Racecourse. Holy cow, it's a good one. There's actually two. Yeah, so there at the beginning of this blog post is like the big picture, like what is it? And then this one down here with Arun, this one is the like behind the scenes, like how did they actually build this? How did they actually do all of it? So W. Georgia would also like a last deployed date. I do wonder, like in the dev console, do you think you get that? You probably don't get it anywhere, do you? Do I have it in... what about like up here? In the Ask States? No. Ooh. Ask CLI, last modified date, 2/7/2023 at 2:31. That's probably GMT when I did that. So there is a date there, but I don't think I have access to that in production. I don't think that exists there. But there is a last modified date. Yeah, I'll share a link to that article. For sure, W. Giorgio. A. Witters, do I remember how hot it was? Yes, I will never forget that, because that was the time that I was asked to wear a shirt and tie and suit when it was the hottest it's ever been in the UK. Yes, we'll never forget that. Okay, so I'm not going to get access to that date. What is the other stuff that I really want to do here? I was going to go through my list. What are built-in slots? Do I have another one that's just slots? What is a slot? I don't know how basic I want to go with this. Slot confirmation, slot elicitation, SMAPI. I feel like I'm going to lose the smart home stuff. We can always add it back. I don't think I even have any content written for it. No, that's fine. So we'll just take those out for now. Speech cons are tricky. What do I do if I say, what is a speech con?
Brrr.
Yeah.
What can I help you do next?
Is that because I got rid of it on this side? I might have actually just gotten rid of it. look at my answers. No, it's still in there. Is there a way for me to even hit that? Because the SpeechCon intent is so deep. Tell me about SpeechCons.
You asked me about SpeechCons. Bazinga! SpeechCons are special words and phrases that Alexa pronounces more expressively. You can include these exclamations in your skill's text-to-speech using SSML. You can ask this skill for a random SpeechCon, or ask me to say a specific SpeechCon anytime. What would you like to do next?
Quell, the idea of hooking up a Raspberry Pi to your washing machine, probably pretty doable. What you'd have to do is understand how to get the data out of the washing machine. One of the other things that I've seen done is I'm guessing it probably has a display on it of some kind. I'll tell a quick story about computer vision. But a guy that I know that lives in Australia, he has a big ranch, and they still do a lot of their drying of their clothes outdoors on a clothesline. And so what he did is he set up a camera, just a small camera off to the side, inside his house, but looking out the window towards the clothesline. And he's using computer vision to determine whether or not there's clothes there. And initially he was thinking that he would be able to say, like, do you see a shirt or pants or something like that? And if it does, then obviously there's clothes on the line. He was trying to remember, did I leave clothes outside? And what he found was, because he's hanging sheets and pillowcases and clothing and all sorts of other stuff, that almost exclusively, it would either tell him it sees nothing, or it sees a school bus. I don't know why school bus was the thing that it was trained to reply on, but it was saying basically, hey, there's a school bus outside. Now, there's no roads in the direction he's looking at all. Like I said, it's a big sprawling outdoor ranch, mountains in the distance, whatever. And so he just used that. He's like, all right, cool. If it sees a school bus, I left laundry outside. And so rather than tying into any kind of data that his dryer had, like you're talking about, or whatever else, he just used computer vision, pointed a camera at it, and said, hey, when you see this, or when you hear this, do a thing. And so you could probably do something like that with a simple camera and some and some computer vision stuff. I've played around with that a little bit. I don't know if I still have. If I go to AWS, I don't know if I still have any of the things that I set up in there still in there. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's fine. So if I go to, I don't know if I have anything saved or running in here. Image properties. Do I have any of mine? Nope, don't want that. I wanted to go, I thought I had some data in here. I guess not. Yeah, I mean, they treat this basically more like an API, so I'm not actually storing data in here, but I was doing some interesting stuff with baseball cards here, and I needed to scale it up to a level that was far greater than I was capable of pulling together myself. Yeah, Jeff Nunn did some really cool things with computer vision as well. Okay, so spoken languages. This is a good one to talk about. Spoken languages, do I have anything in there? Alexa currently supports... Well, it supports more than that, so I probably should update this one. That's another thing that I should add here, is like flag it for update. Let's do something for learning. Learning lab. So we take this, drop it down. We can say ALL. Sometimes people call it that. The Alexa Learning Lab. I don't know what that's. I don't have a custom. Maybe I do. Alexa.design learning lab. No, we didn't set that up. So Alexa learning lab. Launch. Well, I guess this is the learning. Is this as good as I get? Just all of our training in one place? All right, thanks, Quell. Thanks for stopping by. This feels better. This shows the actual courses and what you can get doing with APL. I really should go through these courses. Okay. So do I want this page? Is there... I feel like this is where I'd want to go for the learning lab. So we're just going to take this for now. And drop this in for the URL. And we'll do like a get started. Okay. So let's see one more thing. If I go back here, you can see that Alexa Live has like a nice image and an icon. Why does it say SpeechCon list? Oh, because I must have loaded that in earlier and then didn't overwrite it? Man, that's weird. Tell me about SpeechCons. You asked me about SpeechCons. Great. SpeechCon lists. SpeechCons are special words. All of that looks perfect. Do I have to have a different image? So if I say, tell me about Jeff Blankenberg, I can't ever type my name right.
I think you asked me about Jeff Blankenberg.
Great.
Jeff Blankenberg is Alexa's chief technology evangelist. You can find him on Twitter, Twitch, and GitHub as @JeffBlankenberg. What would you like to do next?
That's fine, but then if I say, where can I find an agency? Is it going to keep my face there?
Here's what I know about agencies.
Well, that's kind of dumb.
Agencies with expertise building Alexa skills can help you create engaging voice experiences for your brand. I've shared a link with you to find qualified agencies near you. What would you like to try?
So I guess every one of them is going to have an image, or I'm going to have to do something better with my code so that image doesn't get shown again. That feels weird that it still shows that image. But then if I click on agency list, something we just added, it takes me to not a page I wanted. Oh, because the URL I put in there was made up. That's why. Okay. So we've gotten through. Is there anything else in here? I don't want to get too deep. What is get authors? No, you can go away. Did I have content for get authors? What even is that? No, I don't even know what that would be. Alexa Gadgets has kind of been discontinued. Forums. Do I have user voice in here? No. User voice. Our user voice website gives you the ability to share your feature requests with our product teams. You can create your own or vote for the ones you find the most important. Okay. That's a good one. User voice. Whoop, okay. And that's for the link prefix stuff, but I believe even in those, let me look at my phone here really quick before we wrap up at 10 o'clock. If I go into my Alexa app and I go to activity, how did I do? Okay, let's look at the Jeff Blankenberg one because that's a weird entry. Jeff Blankenberg. Okay. So the chat response, card response, has all of these links in here. And then website is last, and so it makes a really nice card. An agency list is the same way. Those cards actually look pretty fantastic, if I'm being honest. The agency's US URL came through. Here, we've made enough changes to this. Let's do a grab and dump here. So we just take all of these. Make my life easy, right? There we go. Let's do an ask deploy. And I think that's probably going to be it for us today. That's how it feels anyway. I think that there's always more to be done. And, parsing error. Where? Oh, I have an extra comma. Okay, so that's deploying, and then we'll keep rolling on this thing. But now we have all of our different agency. Oh no, that's another thing I need to look at. I don't want 5 different agencies here. I only want one. I just want to catch it differently on the other side. Yeah, so as I'm working in a specific language, I should always be very careful to filter this where locale contains ENUS. This way I'm only seeing the language that I'm working on. They do a really nice thing in Airtable where you can come in and say, hey, sort or don't sort automatically. And I wish that I could, like, basically turn sorting off for a little bit and then turn it back on. That's what this lets me do. But filtering does not let me do that. So I basically have to rebuild the filter list every single time that I want to do it. Okay, we have a lot more work to do here. This takes a lot of time. I suppose the right way to do this, and probably the way they justify it, is that I have multiple views here. So I should do a new grid view. We'll call this ENUS. And then this ENUS view has filtered on locale contains ENUS. Okay, so this is, we'll call this one, rename this to everything. No, we'll call it all locales. Okay, and so then if I come in here, I can turn this filtering off. This is everything, and then if I want to see just the ENUS, I can go to this, and I can come out here and copy this thing, and I'm going to get only the ENUS values. That's the right way. That's what I should do. So for each locale, I can then have different versions, content, whatever. I don't know if that'll get confusing though. once we hand this off to like a marketing team, because if they're on ENUS, I hope they understand that, like, oh, you're seeing, like, this one is used by all of them, but this one is only used by English US. I would hate for them to go into like a Spanish one and change something to Spanish and then realize that they actually changed it for everything. But lessons to be learned. Okay, that's good. This is good. Entity resolution, entertainment capabilities. I don't even know what I was thinking with some of these. No content for that. You're gone. Where are the tech docs? Is that in here? No. Yeah, I got a lot of work to do. Display directives, dynamic entities. Do I have that here? Okay. Do I have entity resolution? I do. Right next to each other. Java. Do I have Node? Node SDK. Do I have Python? Python, great. Getting started. Is there a getting started also? We'll call this getting. Okay. And this was a good little exercise today in content creation. So I'm at a point where I got to wrap some things up, but good day today. Good little progress. We learned a few things about Airtable. We made some changes to our model. I feel like I want to do this again just because I pulled from the everything list. I don't know what else is in there. That's danger. Copy. Whoa, too far. Too far. Okay, do that again. And with that, I think we'll sign off for today. All right. I expect that I'll be here tomorrow morning, so I'll be around. You guys can be around. Maybe we'll play with a stream. Maybe Wednesdays will be like Wacky Wednesday, and we'll work on stream stuff. I don't know. We'll see how tomorrow morning goes. But good to see